Hi, my name's Jim Harbaugh, and I'm here with two of my favorite things, milk and steak.
What's up?
Who is that on the end? Oh, it's T.O., everybody! Let's start the show.
Sports Nation is presented by Toyota.
Welcome to Sports Nation. It is Halloween. Jim Harbaugh, milk, steak. T.O., what are you supposed to be, T.O.? Okay,
Oh,
I don't
God.
know.
It's going to be a long show. I'm scared.
Seriously?
This response is going to be real short today.
I'm not going to be honest with you. It's actually kind of scary if you stare at it long enough.
I don't know what
What
it
are
is.
you? Oh, I'm done. I'm done. All right, let's do some football, shall we? I don't know why I'm supposed to take you two seriously for the next 25 minutes. Okay,
Hot takes, hot
Dak
takes.
is the future, isn't he? Last night, despite falling behind the Eagles in the third quarter, Mr. Dak Prescott led the boys back to an overtime victory, of course. Led the weekly Hey Jerry Jones, who's the Cowboys starter question. Jerry, take it away.
So we just keep running a hot hand with Dak as long as he can?
Well, I'm not going to get a lot into that, but I was just asked about the next ball game, and certainly Tony's making a lot of progress. We're excited about that. But at this particular time, I don't have any more to clarify. My opinion is that Dak would start against Cleveland.
It's like he just doesn't want to say he's committed. Why?
I mean, I think the word that sticks out for me is progress. And he needs to be talking about the progress that Dak is making. I mean, this is the first time the Cowboys have been 6-1 in a long, long time. This is what Jerry Jones has been wanting for this organization. I understand that Tony Romo has been the guy for a certain period of time, but obviously this is a changing of the guard.
Yeah.
So how can you not speak on a situation that obviously you're going to have to speak on at some point? So I think, you know, for Dak, he doesn't have to listen to this. Go out there and play like he's been playing, and let the chips fall where they fall. Because again, this is a big question.
Yeah.
Will Tony Romo be inserted back into the lineup when he's healthy? We know that according to the league, you don't lose your position according to an injury.
Yeah, but you also don't want to get ahead of yourself, you Jerry Jones. You have the best psychological play existing right now in Dak Prescott playing for his job. He wants to keep that job. Everyone knows that.
Sure.
But he's playing with a little angst because he knows he doesn't have the security of that same position. And so you got a guy that's so motivated, fully motivated out there playing. And if you're Jerry Jones, you keep pushing this conversation down the field. You don't address it until Tony Romo addresses you and says, it's my turn to play. Until then, keep the angst going. Keep him worried about, am I going to be there next week? And you get a fully.
I don't know if it really is about keeping the competition going between the two quarterbacks, or Jerry Jones deciding that he just likes the attention. It's really hard to take me seriously right now, isn't it? I feel as if it is. I feel as if nothing that I'm saying makes any sense right now. But if you could just focus long enough, people, what you have is a media personality being surrounded by the media at all times, being asked a question that he probably already knows the answer to, but he enjoys the attention. He is an egomaniac. We all know that about Jerry Jones, and so I feel really, really silly right now.
Jerry, the egomaniac, all that to the side, he is a very personable owner. The business savvy will take over, and his charisma. I think he can sit down, Tony Romo, and say, let's make this easy on both of us if it gets to that place, and Tony Romo makes sure that he takes a back seat.
So let me ask you this.
Jerry can do that.
You're the other players in the locker room. You're the other players in the locker room,
You did this to us.
I know, and I am very, very sorry and happy at the same time. You're hearing him. Are you just thinking, oh, that's Jerry being Jerry, or are you starting to think, no, dude, do not switch this up now?
No, there's a little bit of both. I think Jerry's being Jerry, but in the locker room, these guys know that Dak is the guy. Understanding that Tony Romo, again, that last play of the game was definitely Romo-esque.
Yep.
You see when he came out of the pocket, he pivoted back around, and then he found Jason Witten in the end zone. That was a play that Tony has done for many, many years. So, again, for me, it shows you that this is Dak's job. Again, I understand that, you know, Tony's done a lot of great things. I think this is a situation, too. Tony Romo is sitting on that sideline knowing, you know, how healthy or unhealthy he is when that time comes. So he has to understand that this is the changing of the guard. This organization, obviously, at some point is going to move on beyond
Yeah, they
him.
got you.
So, again, to your point, this is a conversation for Tony Romo and Jerry Jones and maybe even Jason Garrett to get in a room and talk about.
I think you should talk to us, too.
I don't know.
Talk to us, too.
Next up,
I need to cook this meat.
yesterday, Panthers. No, it's good like that. Panthers beat the Cardinals. The bigger news, however, was Cam Newton again taking questionable shots that were not called penalties, which seems to be an ongoing problem for Cam this season. Cam, your thoughts?
I don't know. It's not fun. It's not fun. It's really taking the fun out of the game for me, honestly. It really is, because at times I don't even feel safe, right? And enough is enough. You know, I plan on talking to Commissioner Goodell about this. I just can't keep accepting, oh, we missed that one, or I apologize for doing that, or I didn't see it. That's horse crap. That's horse crap.
And you think we can't take you seriously in that outfit? NFL, all kidding aside, this has been a topic since the very first game of the season. Everyone seems to appear at this point that we're not taking it seriously where Cam is involved in hits. Does he have a point?
Absolutely. I think this is a situation where the refs, they have to get this call right. They cannot miss this. How can refs sit there and they can nitpick and they can see holding calls in between the trenches?
Yeah.
But you can't stand back there and you can't assess these penalties, these hits that are going against Cam. He definitely has an argument.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the quarterback position. That's the sacred cow in the NFL. We've seen it before, T.O., being in practice, watching coaches threaten players if you ever touch that guy in the red jersey.
Absolutely.
To now go to a place, it's unfathomable to think about in the NFL, in the actual game, that the quarterback is now going to be the least protected on the team. That's why the NFL has to step in here. But there is a little conspiracy theory. Ed Hockley singling them out. Maybe now the whispers in the brotherhood is he doesn't get the benefit of the doubt of these calls.
Well, let's pump the brakes on Ed, because before the Ed incident, Cam Newton was actually averaging more roughing the passing calls than what was the league average.
Right.
I think in his rookie year, he got 8 of those calls when the league average was less than 3. So it's not as if the league has always been against him. I'm not so sure if we can call Ed out on this, because when you go back and listen to the tape and what the reports are showing, that Ed didn't say that to him. And what was he supposedly have said? That you're too...
Oh, it's not about what happened in that. I don't even go into those details. Right. It's the fact that you single out an official, and then coincidentally, now you get none of those calls that everyone in the world is seeing. There's something there.
Well, the NFL also did release a report that showed that there were 11 other quarterbacks who had missed roughing the passing calls than Cam Newton. So while it's true they may be missing Cam's calls, there are 11 other quarterbacks who are getting calls that are missed as well.
But I think for me, it's his health. I mean, you look at that hit. I mean, he could have torn.
Yeah,
he could have had his knee torn.
Yeah, that was ugly.
That's what I take from what his frustrations are.
Marcellus has known me a long time. You know I don't like hugs. This next topic makes me uncomfortable. We're talking hugs. God, get away from me. Yesterday during the Seahawks-Saints game, Earl Thomas scored a very nice touchdown, very beautiful. Was so overcome with all that joy, he decides to hug a ref, which then results in a 15-yard unsportsmanlike penalty. T.O., this has been another thing that we've talked about all season long, stupid celebration calls, but that was literally a hug.
You don't like hugs?
Oh, look at that.
Hugs are good.
They make me uncomfortable.
Look at that. I don't think she took it.
Although I am Jim Harbaugh, so I probably love hugs.
Right.
He loves hugs.
I mean, this is a nitpicky thing. I think, again, it's Earl Thomas having fun with the game. Again, if anything, give the guy a warning.
No, you don't give him a warning because, you cannot open up a can of worms where players are allowed to touch the official.
He's hugging him.
Let me tell you why. Because then we have to go to the next level of trying to determine intent. Was that a nice playful hug? Was that you actually trying to take a dig? Was that you trying to get back at me? You don't touch the officials.
Who uses a hug as a weapon? You weaponizing hugs.
If you allow me to touch you, I can play a hug off and do something else to you.
This goes back to
Hello. This milk doesn't feel safe anymore.
Yeah, right.
The
My meat.
The refs need to be reprimanded, flagged for doing what they're doing. They're not doing their job to the best of their
ability.
Hold on,
T.O. Then you know there's a certain respect that you got to play and pay to the officials. It's just that simple. You don't have physical contact.
I think that is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, when you think about the refs, the week that they've had.
I don't care about their job.
No.
I don't care how good they are.
This is an entirety thing, because we just got done talking about Cam Newton not getting any calls, right?
Exactly.
But now you got the call for a hug, but you can't get a rough in the pass. Come on,
that's apples and oranges.
No.
We're talking about someone who's out there to officiate.
This is red. They're all the same.
What do you tell your kids? Oh, don't hug, child.
I'm gonna tell my
that is not okay.
Yes, I will tell my kid in class, don't touch a teacher. I'm not gonna say,
what about
don't hug a teacher. Don't hug a teacher.
Any authority figure, you have to make it obvious if it's okay to you to do something.
The first lady,
just go up to him and do it. I won.
First lady.
Man, you guys.
You have to stop talking, I think.
Anytime you lose, it is the agony of defeat. Anytime you win, it's the great thrill of victory and wonderful feeling of winning. You know, it's that's just fact of business. Fact, F-A-C-K, fact.
It's true. F-A-C-K is a fact. I am Jim Harbaugh. I love steak, and I love milk with my steak. That is why I brought my two best friends, Milk and Steak, with me today for Halloween. I don't know what T.O. is supposed to be. What exactly are you supposed to be?
The player you're recruiting? No?
That's good. I like that. All right, we'll keep playing. We'll keep talking some football. Yesterday, the NFL went to London again. One more time. Gave good people of England exactly what they were looking for. A 27-27 tie. Second week in a row, the league has delivered up this garbage. Jay Gruden, your thoughts?
I don't know how to react. I didn't think it was possible to tie. I know there was a tie last week in Arizona, but I was like, how the heck they tie? You know, and now we know. It would help to win this one, but I guess it's not a loss. I don't know.
There's nothing to say. We're done.
I told you my deal with the ties last week, man.
What?
We're done.
They're only for suits.
Stop.
And you didn't even have one on.
This is a good thing. This is a wild card in the deck of what happens in the season, and you don't even know how it plays out. Is it a positive as a win? Is it a negative as a loss until week 17? Because someone has a 1 in the third column. I think this is going to be amazing. You're going to see right now teams don't know where they are in the standings because you don't know how to fully play this out until you watch all the games.
I think it's great because it adds more emphasis to the importance of a kicker. We treat them as if they're not important to the team's success. Now you've seen 3 kickers now miss very crucial field goals that have led to ties, and I just think that it makes them less disposable and means you add value to another field position. So I love it.
As ridiculous as you look in that
costume. Thank you.
Please explain. Just because you feel that way doesn't mean it's true.
You just talk smack.
What is the significance of a tie? Like, dude, in any other sports aside from football, I guess, and maybe soccer, are there any other games that?
But that's the point. That's the beauty of it. Right now, you don't know how to feel about it. That adds value. That adds some intrigue.
To make us feel a certain way about it by saying, well, it's not a loss.
Yeah, he's not even upset, but he doesn't know if he should be happy. I like that because that's going to be the same in the standings.
If you didn't want to tie, then be aggressive. If you don't want to tie, then when it's 2 minutes to go and it's a tied game, be aggressive. Throw downfield. Stop trying to protect your tie. No. That's what coaches end up doing. They end up trying to protect the tie because they're afraid of making a mistake.
As a player, I like to earn my check. All week we practice hard.
27 points, 27 points.
To win or lose.
No.
Give me the opportunity to earn my check.
You get the opportunity. It's called 4 quarters and overtime.
You act like the game didn't happen. They played the game 27-27.
It just
move on.
It's like it's a
you know what it is?
Terrible feeling.
It's shades of gray.
All that work and then you get back on the bus.
It's shades of gray. Life is filled with nuance, T.O. That's nuance.
It's as boring as soccer when you spend that many minutes watching something and it's a tie. Maybe that's why they did it. They were in London. Hey, look how fun football is. More from this game. After Washington kicker Dustin Hopkins missed a game-winning field goal, here you go, attempt, a German TV station tried to interview him, and then something really, really weird happened. Take a look.
Dustin Hopkins, what went wrong by the kick? First of all, I'm just disgusted that that happened for my guys.
No!
Okay.
No.
Das war eindeutig keine Interviews. Letzte Woche.
Wait, was that a rehearsal for a television show? What are those two dudes doing? That's a PR dude, obviously. Maybe overzealous, no?
No, doing his job and doing it damn well.
Come on.
Look, your job in those moments is to only grant clearance to the ones who have that authority. Those who have the permission are the ones who get the interviews on the field. Everyone else has to wait till you go in the locker room, get your 10 minutes of breathing time, then go to the podium.
Marcellus.
He's doing his job, and that guy knows it. Look at him. Watch when he gets pushed. You see him laughing? Because he's like, you know what?
Marcellus, we would have never have seen that.
He wasn't clear to do that interview.
Exactly.
We would have never seen this German TV interview if the PR dude had not done that. No way in God's green earth are we over here waiting going, I wonder what German TV is doing. We wouldn't have done that. You know why we know this story? Because the PR guy did that. Now it's a bigger story. It reminds me of when they pulled the singer from singing the Star Spangled Banner. We would have known that she was wearing that jersey.
So you don't do your job? You don't do your job because of what reason?
Sometimes your job is knowing when not to step in and make a bigger mess.
Hold on, you can't grant clearance to a guy who doesn't have it. You can't let guys just get on the sideline and grab anybody.
Sometimes PR is knowing when not to draw additional attention to yourself.
Also, can we all agree we're also in another country where things are probably not done exactly the same way we do it, where like certain athletes go to a podium, certain athletes you go to the locker room and all that. So this kid is just asking a question. The kicker was actually answering it as if he wasn't even bothered by it in the
Because the
first
kicker's
place.
assuming that you have clearance. He thinks that you're
But
one of
it's
the
a
guys that I
different
can talk to.
place. And not only that, like, the dude touches the guy. Like, that's where I
Yeah,
feel
I didn't like that
uncomfortable.
part.
Like, that's
Yeah.
too much.
If we
But
was back in
he
America, I would sue him.
Yeah, you're right. I don't.
Somebody
I
that
can't.
doesn't like
Come on, just a little bit.
He tried to get away with one, asking for forgiveness, not permission. That's what he was trying to do.
Well, that's what we all do, isn't it? Look at you two. We have one more story coming. I've got a surprise under here that I'm going to ask for permission.
Underwear.
Josh Norman, I'm not telling you, had a rough game. He was called for 5 penalties against the Bengals after the game. He let it be known he was not happy with what went down. Josh?
Who's 88? I got to know. I just got to know. Who's official 88? He sucked. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm going to be straightforward. He was terrible, and I feel like he should be reprimanded. I feel like some of the plays that was going on out there was just, I mean, it was terrible.
Who is 88?
Who is
What a
88?
rough day.
There's Bryant.
True. I mean, we just talked about it.
I like the way he shook his hair as he was asking who's 88. He was like, who's 88? Where is he?
Because he's horrible.
He's horrible.
You know what A.J. Green say right now? Who's Josh Norman? Because he's horrible. Because A.J. Green went off.
Wow.
9-121. Who's that? But, you know, in reality, watch yourself. Like, some things should not be said. Some things should not be done. In this respect, you're doing yourself no favors by calling out one individual rep. They have meetings where they sit there and they talk about points of emphasis, what to look for and what to let go. Now, you have no benefit of the doubt. Ask Cam Newton how that went since he called out Ed Hockley. I think the same is going to happen with him.
But I think Josh has a little bit of a gripe here, considering late in the game or earlier in the game when one of his receivers went to the goal line, scored a touchdown, and the guy pulled his almost pulled his head off, and the ref did not call. Look, he's standing right there. How can you not see that?
No, that's real.
That's a clear
That's a
face
flag.
mask.
That's clear.
So these are some of the things that these players are having issues with in terms of the officiating.
But not the calls on Josh, though.
But T,
not all
if
those.
he hugged him, though, that flag would have flown.
That's a great point. Next time, hug.
Right.
So
In all fairness, though, like,
this is the frustration with these
They're not
players.
perfect.
you
They're
can't be
human
afraid,
error.
but you should also be afraid of them. I mean, if the guy had a really particularly bad day, like number 88 apparently did, then why not call him out?
Well, Josh
He's not
had
above
5
it.
penalties called on himself, and then he's like, oh, this is bad. But a lot of that, you actually should have called it. It was a lot of hand-to-hand combat that he was guilty of.
Coming up, Meta World Peace says he saw a ghost in Oklahoma City. We're going to find out how many people here believe him.
This is Sports Nation. Oh, my goodness. Only Meta. Only Meta.
No, some of those hotels are haunted.
say that
for
one.
real.
That one out
Supposedly
there.
stayed in
And
a
that's one
haunted
of them.
hotel.
Toyota. Loser. I'm not sure. Being mad. This little girl and this little play are not getting along on this particular day. She's a fan, but not happy right now.
Let's see. Look at that. I mean, she should. Oh, look at her.
Anger.
Now they're 3-5. They got smoked by Penn State.
She's wearing like a Drew Brees jersey.
Yeah.
He's not walking through that door, sweetie.
That's all they need to fix this. They need a Drew Brees. You need something bigger than that. Because, boy.
Is that free candy? So, like, tonight she's going to be real hopped up on candy.
Look at her little sister like
Look
that.
out for that one. Winner. Ghosts. Meta World Peace said ghosts touched him in, quote, the wrong places during the Lakers stay in an alleged haunted hotel in Oklahoma City. You believe him, T.O.?
Is that the story he told security?
I want to know where the right places for a ghost to touch you.
Yeah. What is she doing in here? It's a ghost.
Only Meta World Peace would see a ghost.
Yeah.
In fairness, the Oklahoma City NBA hotel is known to be haunted.
Yes, 2 players did not stay there this weekend.
I'd like to come over here and say hello to my 2 best friends before we go out.
Meta seeing ghosts. He ain't seeing playing time, though.
I got to see
They
this.
ain't giving them no love. What are we supposed to do right here?
I love steak and milk. F-A-C-K, fack. T.O., I still don't know what you're supposed to be. Scary pumpkin face?
Is that milk, M-E-L-K, and steak, S-T-A-K-E?
We're going to wear these again tomorrow.
No, we're never wearing these again.